If you're new to this podcast, my name is Karen Hollenbach, or KPH, and since 2010, I've been guiding the professional journeys of individuals and organisations across Australia, helping them navigate LinkedIn with more confidence and clarity. When I'm not working, you'll find me writing, reading, spending time in nature, or with my husband, our 2 adult sons, and our animals, Rocky, the English Staffy. I think his ears probably pricked up as I said that. And Archie, our 3-legged cat, who's getting more vocal as he gets older. And something weird that happens with older cats is that he also dribbles a lot when you pat him. So, gross. Through my work, I've learned that LinkedIn is less about keeping up with the algorithm and more about finding sustainable, authentic ways to share your professional story. Now, if you've been following my journey for a while, you may have noticed, if you sign up or have signed up or receive my email newsletters, or perhaps you follow me on LinkedIn and get my LinkedIn Marketer regular newsletter there, you may have noticed that I've been talking about Substack. Now, I began writing on Substack because I wanted to give my readers a quieter place to learn about LinkedIn away from the constant buzz of LinkedIn itself. Now, I've written there myself really privately, quietly, to find my voice beyond being a LinkedIn expert. And I've been doing that since about, I think, 2023, but it did occur to me with paid subscriptions that was potentially a really good option for me to explore as well. And I think LinkedIn's become a pretty busy place, which is fine. There's ways to sidestep the busyness, but I think that it's one of the advantages of Substack is it's a relatively newer platform. It's not perfect. I don't think there's any online platform that is perfect. Actually, I don't think perfection exists. But really, my reason for creating Elevate with KPH, and I'll talk more about that today. I've also got some insights for you today, which I should mention, algorithm updates and things to think about in terms of your LinkedIn strategy. But over on Substack and with Elevate with KPH, I'm really going to share the Elevate map, which is a clear structured framework that helps professionals like you work through each stage of your LinkedIn journey at a pace that feels right. Because I feel like people have, well, maybe it's me personally, but I feel like my clients, some of them just hit overwhelm with taking in new information. So the framework is really straightforward and helps you work out how to navigate LinkedIn with grace and in a way that stops this feeling of having to create content all the time. I mean, you do need to show up on LinkedIn, but how you show up and doing it in an authentic and meaningful way is really the opportunity. So let's look at some algorithm updates and what we're learning right now about LinkedIn itself. So Richard Vanderblom, who analyzes millions of LinkedIn posts each year, recently shared some important insights about how the LinkedIn algorithm has evolved. Now, as soon as I record a podcast episode that talks about the LinkedIn algorithm, it instantly dates. So I'm going to talk sort of broadly around those insights. And I sort of chuckle about that because I'm a bit of a fan of evergreen content. So content that can be used over and over again. And there's so much content that I've created over the years, so many how-to blogs on Think Bespoke's website. So you can trundle over there and have a look on our knowledge base if you're looking for tips specifically around optimizing your LinkedIn profile and getting a bit more serious about your LinkedIn content marketing. But for the purpose of today, what did Richard discover? Well, there's 5 highlights to keep in mind in terms of the information he shared. So what did he say? He said that posts with hashtags actually get less reach. Now, if I was really good at sound effects, I'd do some sort of shock sound effect now, but you just have to listen to my voice. Share my own sound effect. So Debbie, who works with me, and I are trialing not using hashtags on some of our clients' content plans to see what impact that has. Comments in the first 5 minutes matter most in terms of the LinkedIn algorithm going, woohoo, this is good content. We should spread it out to more of your network. So newsflash, Not everyone who follows you will see your updates unless they've pressed notifications and rung your bell, or unless they've curated their notifications. One external link, so this old chestnut, do you put a link in your content? Will it reduce reach? Well, potentially. One external link, Richard says, hurts reach, but 3 or more links perform better. Now, I hope you can hear my smirk as I'm sharing these insights with you, because I'm going to make a point about the algorithm in a sec. Short videos, if you're doing them, under 30 seconds are far more effective. Is that playing to the idea that we've got shorter and shorter attention spans? Maybe. And smaller engaged networks outperform very large ones. Yes, I love this insight. You may have heard me say before, having lots of followers on platforms like, I'm going to use Instagram as an example, is like being rich in Monopoly. So having lots of followers is not necessarily always the goal. Meaningful connections that want to engage with your content. So I guess, what about the LinkedIn algorithm? So what Richard's saying is strategies that worked in 2019 may not serve you now, and the algorithm has evolved. So of course, algorithms always evolve, but what does this mean for your LinkedIn strategy and for thinking about LinkedIn all the time, and how you're going to show up on LinkedIn or elevate your LinkedIn presence as you reflect on your own LinkedIn journey? So strategies that once worked, and there's all these sort of theories about what works and what doesn't on LinkedIn. And so I guess the thing to really think about is the focus should be on genuine engagement, shorter content that respects attention spans, and fewer gimmicks like hashtags. If you want to consider hashtags a gimmick, I think it was just a tool that we all thought we'd use to help people find our content. And I think longer form content does have a role. I think it can be your cornerstone content, and you can think about the LinkedIn newsletter, your email strategy, and having that sort of longer form content there. But certainly there's a big shift in how people are using content. And I think that's got a lot to do with a lot of the generative AI tools, and also just the overwhelm that maybe some people are reaching because of the prolific amount of information that comes our way. So what does this mean for you? If you're feeling pressure to show up on LinkedIn, remember this: your goal isn't to master every algorithm update. That's good news, isn't it? Maybe that statement makes this podcast episode evergreen. Who knows? Your goal should be to find an authentic rhythm. So sharing insights, stories, and reflections that align with your values. So yes, the data matters, and I'll continue to bring you updates as the platform evolves. But your presence will always feel more sustainable if it's grounded in clarity and authenticity, not chasing trends. So that's what the Elevate map is designed to help you with, building a LinkedIn practice that is consistent, authentic, and aligned with who you are. Thank you for joining me today in this quieter corner of the internet. Until next time, I'm Karen Hollenbach, and this has been the LinkedIn Marketer.